It tells a story of a unit of soldiers, about 6 of them who were so close, and it tells their story. And we played that song as the last song of the night. We're at Uncle Ron's in Lincoln, Nebraska, and a lot of people know that was the honky tonk out here. And we played that song, and we got done, and this young woman comes up to the stage, and she's just crying and so moved by the song. And she asked me if I could play it again. And I said, okay, that's not something a band would normally do. They're not going to play the same song twice in a row. That's not something I said. Sure. What can I do for you? And she says, well, I'm going to get my husband, Sergeant Matthew Cratchville, on the phone because he's in Iraq right now with his unit, and I want them to hear that song. So you're damn right we played that song again.
What's up, HeroStock Nation?
Shy of 2 years old, dropped you off in the driveway. Tattered eyes and a crusty nose, you looked at me in a shy way. When I picked you up out of that car, and I felt the love growing in my heart, and I said, don't worry son, it's gonna be okay. I got you, yeah. I won't ever let you go. I'm gonna love you each and every day. I got you on my heart and on my soul. No matter what it takes, it's gonna be okay. 2 years and 1 month later, sitting there in the courtroom. Judge says, congratulations, the adoption went through. Then he asked you what you think about all this. And you said, I love my mama and papa. We lost them. Don't worry, son, it's gonna be okay. I got you. I won't ever let you go. I'm gonna love you each and every day. I got you on my heart and on my soul. No matter what it takes, it's gonna be okay. Now here we are, growing up so fast, and I'm proud to call you son. Here you call me dad. Don't worry, son, it's gonna be okay. I got you, yeah. I won't ever let you go. I'm gonna love you each and every day. I got you on my heart and on my soul. No matter what it takes, Yeah, I pray in Jesus' name. It's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay. 3 weeks shy of 2 years old, dropped you off in the driveway.
Welcome back to the Roundtable, where heroes talk. I'm your host, Tom Lamog. Matthew Jones has the night off. Tonight, we are joined by country songwriter Nathan Wade, having met up with our own Jason Steiner while performing of the Trails of Tales Songwriters Festival in Deadwood late in 2025. Nathan brings a sound that's raw, real, and deeply rooted in storytelling. Today, we're going to talk with him about his journey, the road back, to where music all began. Take him through the journey of music as well. We're going to hear a couple of the songs that he wants to share with us, along with some of the stories behind them. Nathan, hey, it's good to see you. It's good to meet you as well too. How are you this evening?
I'm good, Tom. Like I said, I'm burning the candle at both ends right now, but it's good, man. I'm little bit stressed, but a whole lot blessed. So
I remember us talking earlier in the year, uh, hearing from Jason saying, "Hey, I would love for you to get Nathan on the program." I saw him over at the Trails of Tales Songwriters Festival out there in Deadwood, and yeah, his music, he just was giving that thumbs up. So after reaching out to you, I know that we were kind of going back and forth with trying to schedule a date and all. You have been a busy man, that's for sure. But it's good to see it. I think I kind of went through your introduction really quickly. Maybe you can tell us a little bit more with regards to your music and where you're based out of as well.
I'm based out of Nebraska. We're about to play Iowa to go to the Elite Eight in basketball, which is absolutely incredible.
Mm.
But yeah, my musical journey has been quite something. I started just about when I was about 21 years old when I bought my first guitar, and I had written some songs, and I just wanted to do country music. It was something that came to me, and I wanted to write songs that meant something. And I think I've done a lot of that in the past almost 30 years now.
Mhm.
And I'm just glad that people are still letting me get up on stages and sing them songs. It's
Yeah, you were telling me 5 performances in
I did yeah in 3 days that Trails of Tales very cool that they put that together.
Mhm.
Um, some folks out of Nebraska like DJ Bridwell and Dean Schaefer, and they got into Deadwood, and they got a bunch of Nebraska songwriters and South Dakota and all over, and got songwriters together to go out and do this thing and play in a few different places and play several times and rotate through these. And man, I wanted to be a part of that, and I was so blessed to be invited last year. And what came from that, out of that, just out of that session, I've only played South Dakota before that, probably only a few times, honestly, because I've spent most of my time in Nebraska, Kansas, Iowa, south of South Dakota.
Mhm.
But I got a call the day before Thanksgiving from the director of the Legends of Country Music out there in the Dakotas. And he told me that somebody had nominated me for their Hall of Fame, the Dakota Country Music Hall of Fame out there. And
Honor. Wow.
it was very surreal for me because I had really just gotten back into full time music. And so it was really surreal to me that they told me that somebody was so touched by my songs and my music that they had nominated me for induction to that Hall of Fame. And September 27th of this year, I will be inducted into the Dakota Country Music Hall of Fame.
30 years experience in doing this has finally caught up with you, it sounds like.
Well, it's all catching up with me, man. I'm getting old. I'm gonna, I'm gonna be 50 here in a couple weeks. So
Maturity. experience. It's all coming to the forefront now. Hey, I want to go back to the song that we opened with. It's gonna be okay. There was a story behind that, obviously, but maybe you can tell us about it.
Yeah. Um, when I got back into doing this last year, it was had a lot to do with that 9-year-old boy I'm raising, my grandson. And he was doing so many good things. Um, like I said, he's going to be going for his level 3 red belt in Taekwondo here in about a week and a half, which means he'll be going for his black belt in June. And he also just last week in his first competitive season of gymnastics, boys competitive gymnastics, he just went ahead and won the state championship for the 9-year-olds. And couldn't be prouder of that kid. And I just kept telling him all this time how much he's got to work and push and the things that he wants to accomplish. And I wasn't really doing that with my music anymore. And I finally just walked in and quit my dead end job. And I started booking shows again. And I started writing again. And for the past 7 years, I've been wanting to write that song because I wanted to tell the story of how we got him, and what hooked me, or what kept me from it, was I wanted to find this fancy hook. I wanted to have this, real big, powerful thing. And then I realized all I got to do is just tell the true story of how it happened. 3 weeks shy of 2 years old, dropped you off in the driveway. Tired eyes and a crusty nose, looked at me in a shy way. And man, that song just finally came out of me. And it's a pretty simple, it's gonna be okay. But the it's a simple but profound. And that's, I think, what defines most of my bigger songs, is that I just kind of keep it simple. I think I'm kind of clever some of the time with
Mhm.
some of the lyrics, but the power behind the lyrics is what I want to be remembered for.
Sure. I just would like to know, something happened after that video had been produced. People started to recognize you, right?
Again, yeah, I mean, I had a lot of recognition back, you know, 2009 is when I started my band, and we just took off like a rocket.
Mhm.
I was a wild and crazy dude. People sometimes just showed up to see what the heck Nathan Wade was going to do on stage, because I did the splits, I did push ups. I still stayed pretty traditional country for the most part,
Mhm.
but it was a party, and there was a lot of after parties. And like I said, people just showed up to see what kind of crazy thing Nathan Wade was going to do on stage. And we got pretty big pretty fast, and they didn't want to keep going with the original songs, even though I was selling thousands of copies of, every CD I produced just had originals on it. I wasn't recording any of the covers that we did, and they didn't think that was going to work. So, we ended up splitting up in like 2013, and couple of years I just did acoustic stuff and kind of started fading, where at that time people were just really really want to just hear songs they'd already heard a million times. And it wore me out. And so I only played, the benefits that I do for veterans. I still always played those every year, and the little shows, and I take shows here and there. And then in 2019, when Jax got dropped off on the driveway, I used that as an excuse to not try and book a bunch of shows, and just kind of go a different direction. But like I said, when last year came around, and I just something just hit me where I needed to give this one more shot and do it for real, and go out and put it forth. And I've been just pleasantly surprised with the reception, because I literally do not do cover songs,
Mhm.
and I've really only had a few people ask for cover songs over this past year. And it amazed me because, back 10 years ago, it was kind of a thing. And now, it's funny how things cycle through. And I'm really appreciative and humbled by the fact that people are really hearing my music and my songs. That's the legacy I want to leave. My first full studio album was called My Own Name, and it's tattooed on my arm because that was also the first tattoo I got because
Mhm.
I was so proud of making my first album. And I wanted to be famous, and I didn't want to be in the shadow of all these guys that they said I looked like or sounded like. And so I wrote My Own Name. It took me literally maybe 10 minutes because we had to a uh, write a title track for the CD, and I wrote that. And
See what pressure can do to us.
I've been told I look like Paisley. I've heard Tim McGraw. Guess I can't lose either way. Folks, don't get me wrong. I'd like to make my own voice, and if it's all the same, I'd like to make my own name. And that's what it was all about back then for me. I wanted to be the next guy getting up on the ACMs and all that stuff. And, um, I probably ruined a lot of that with a little bit too much whiskey. I did get really wild back then. And, you know, I've been through it. I put myself through a lot of it. And, I've also learned from a lot of that. And I'm finally, like I said, I'm going to be 50 next month. And I got back into it last year, and I wanted it to just be all about my songs. It's not about my name. I don't care if you remember Nathan Wade or not, but if you hear a song like Katie's Heart or Dead Soldiers or The Wife of a Soldier, and you feel the story behind that, you don't even have to remember my name if my song's out there.
Well, let's get to the next song. Let's talk about there are two that you've shared with me that you were planning on sharing this evening. So, why don't you go ahead and give us a introduction to one of those two songs? What's this? What's it called? And maybe a little bit about the story behind it.
There's always a story with me. So, yeah, man, if we want to do Wife of a Soldier first, I was playing a show years back with the band, and it's funny because Dead Soldiers is not really a song you would naturally think that a band would end their show with. But the song was so huge for us and powerful, and we would literally do that as our last song of the set. And you think of the name of the song, and it kind of gets you in whatever way it hits you. But it's a tribute song, man. It's a song for all those folks who fought and died for this country, and to raise up a toast in honor of those. And it tells a story of a unit of soldiers, about six of them who were so close, and it tells their story. And we played that song as the last song of the night. We're at Uncle Ron's in Lincoln, Nebraska, and a lot of people know that was the honky tonk out here. And we played that song, and we got done, and this young woman comes up to the stage, and she's just crying and so moved by the song. And she asked me if I could play it again. And I said, okay, that's not something a band would normally do. They're not going to play the same song twice in a row. That's not something I said. Sure. What can I do for you? And she says, well, I'm going to get my husband, Sergeant Matthew Cratchville, on the phone because he's in Iraq right now with his unit, and I want them to hear that song. So you're damn right. We played that song again. And I got to be good friends with Matt and Melissa. And Melissa kind of made me think about, excuse me, all the songs that I have written for the military. And a lot of times it's about the soldier, and rightfully so, the folks that are over there fighting. But Melissa got me thinking, maybe we need to talk about the folks who wait at home, because maybe they're kind of a little bit of a hero too, for all that they do to keep things straight at home while their soldier fights, and praying that they make it home safe. So this is not just necessarily for Melissa. That's why I wrote it. And for the wives, it's for everybody who waits for their family member to come home safe. It's called The Wife of a Soldier.
She lies in bed alone, praying that the phone will ring, and on the other end is him to say he's coming home and to let her know he's all right. He won't be going back again. That's the life of the wife of a soldier, the heart of a lion, undying love. With pride and the weight of the world on her shoulders, she understands, she stands tough. Waits for the day he can hold her. That's the life of the wife of a soldier. Takes the kids to school, loads the van full of groceries they need to get by. Oh, she plays it cool and sticks to her rule that they never, ever get to see her cry. That's the life of the wife of a soldier, the heart of a lion, undying love. With pride and the weight of the world on her shoulders, she understands, and she stands tough. She waits for the day he can hold her. Yeah, that's the life of the wife of a soldier. Second that car pulled down the driveway, she couldn't help but fear the worst. But the moment she saw him heading her way, she knew every prayer she prayed was heard. Yeah, that's the life of the wife of a soldier. Now her heart is flying with undying love. With pride and the weight of the world off her shoulders, he understands, and he picks her up. Says he's longed for this day to hold her. Yeah, that's the life of the wife of a soldier. They lie in bed at home, praying that the phone won't ring. But if it does, she understands.
You seem to be comfortable singing a cappella. Would you like to just sing part of it now?
Well, I mean, I got good acoustics in this little bedroom, I guess. So
It's
it's
coming
not
through
that bad.
great, man.
But yes, it just starts with she lies in bed alone, praying that the phone will ring, and on the other end is him to say he's coming home and let her know he's all right. He won't be going back again. So I started like that, and then when I end it, they're lying in bed at home. They're lying in bed at home, praying that the phone won't ring. But if it does, she understands. So it just comes full circle where, she's just, she's in it. She's in it with him, no matter what, right? So she knows he needs to go. They got kids. She's got to take care of them. It'll talk about how she'll never ever let him see her cry about it. The kids. She's going to be strong and tough um, yeah. So it comes full circle where you know the second that car pulled in the driveway, she couldn't help but fear the worst. But the moment she saw him heading her way, she knew every prayer she prayed was heard. So he gets home and that's it, man. And Matt came home and we've done a lot of shows where they stood out in the crowd and cheered me on, and it's just songs like that, and even Katie's Heart, which we'll talk about, is pretty emotional, pretty magical. Those are the kind of songs where I just think that I just happened to be holding a pencil, and God sent me the words and gave me the moment to do that.
Let's talk a little bit about songwriting. And when you come up with these ideas, are you transported to another place to draw the images, to flesh out the story? Um, and if so, what does that typically entail for you?
Yeah, it's a lot of it. I've done it in a lot of different ways. So, you've got the songwriters that like have to have a melody or they have to have the song written before they make the melody. And some of that's true. I've done it in so many different ways. It's just however that moment hits me with that song. Like with the song for Melissa and the Wife of a Soldier. That song didn't come about for a while, but one day I just kind of sat down and thought about it and just started words just started coming out. I thought about what about if we talk about the wife of a soldier who has to wait for their soldier to come home? And then the words just kind of came out. And you get maybe half a verse or a verse done, and then you pick up the guitar and you kind of put a few chords together and say, well, this fit. And wow, that fit. Okay, let's do this. Um, so I can't, there's no specific formula for me. Those are the real stories. The ones that are all the real stories. Like I have a lot of songs, obviously, that aren't necessarily true stories. All of them, just about every song I've ever written has something to do with some part of my life, whether it's about the whiskey or the women or somebody's kid who has terminal brain cancer and they asked me to sing for their benefit. And he wasn't supposed to live past 1 year old. And then they asked me to sing again for his third year benefit. And when they asked me to do that, I just felt like I had to write a song. And his name was Braden. And they called the event Standing with Braden. So I wrote a song called Still Standing because he wasn't even supposed to still be around. And he lived far longer than any expert ever said he should. So I'm really proud of that song. And that song also it's about cancer, and we've all lost somebody to cancer. My Aunt Judy was my biggest fan for years, and one of the strongest people I ever knew. And she fought it off a couple different times, but then it got her. And after that, I actually got an 8x10 picture of Judy, and for a while I put it up on stage on a chair with me because those are the things that really matter. I've done a lot of stupid things, getting drunk and knocking over drum sets and whatnot, and I'm not proud of any of that. What I'm proud of is the songs I've written that have touched people's lives.
I know you're mentioning the songs that you put forth. At the heart of that all is the songwriting. It's the storytelling, right? Have you always considered yourself a storyteller? Um, and if so, when, at what point did it feel like this is who I am? That this becomes reality today?
Yeah, I have always more of a storyteller, definitely not a guitarist. I have, you see all those Facebook pages where people say they're a musician, guitarist, singer. I would say I'm a singer, songwriter, storyteller, guitar-ish. That's
It's not a
that's my
typo.
thing. You know, if I can figure
Wrong
out
with
three
that.
chords and maybe throw in a minor somewhere, I'm not going to get too fancy.
Sure.
Um, my songwriting, a guy I wrote song with for a long time, Tim Beasy. We wrote Dead Soldiers together, and a lot of my bigger songs for years. He used to call me Linestein because he'd always say that we'd be stuck in a song, and then I'd always just come up with this perfect line for the song that just fit, and it just took the song to that next level. So I always enjoyed that, and you know, Tim and I have been talking. We haven't written in years. We've been talking, and once he gets back from Wisconsin, we might be getting back together and doing some more music together. So that'll be cool. But yeah, songwriting is you for me. I can't just go to one formula. We used to have writing sessions all the time. We used to go to Nashville all the time. We'd have writing sessions out there. Wrote with some great folks out there. But for a long time, that was mostly about trying to get cuts on famous people's records, I wanted to sing my songs myself, so I just started doing that, and been almost 30 years now, and took a little break there for a while, but I'm so glad I got back in it last year full time, raising my grandson and singing my songs, and people appreciating that. It's very humbling, and it just drives me to find that next song that really hits somebody in the heart. I always say that if you come to one of my shows, you're not going to be dazzled by any guitar licks or anything like that, but I guarantee you, you're gonna laugh, cry, or scream hell yeah, and maybe all three. And I've been getting that a lot, so it's been a good ride.
Well, just the stories that you're sharing about the songs that you've written so far that you've shared with us. Yeah, you've managed to touch people through your music, through your stories. And that right there says, yeah, songwriter, storyteller. That's you. You're not just doing this like a lot of people tend to do. It's kind of like, well, it's a very casual hobby, or I'm gonna make the next hit record and they fail miserably. You, on the other hand, have done this a while. You've done it enough. You've presented it in front of people, played it, performed it. It's the stories behind it, and look how they respond to you. And you're also award winning, right? Now you've been recognized for those stories and the song. So give yourself a pat on the back, man. That's quite an accomplishment. You should be proud of.
Yeah, I appreciate that. You know, like I said back in the day, I was pretty overconfident, maybe a little cocky, and I rubbed a lot of people the wrong way back then. And it's just not really about that anymore for me. It's about the songs I've written that have touched people's lives, and man, I'll stand on that all day. I've I've done some things that have helped a lot of people get through a lot of hard times, and even helped myself get through a lot of hard times. So I am proud of that. And you know, a lot of people think if you talk about yourself, you're being cocky and whatnot, and maybe that was true 25 years ago. For me, I just I want my grandson to look up to me and see that it's not um it's not just about me. I can get up there and sing a song, but that song is meant to touch other people, to move people, to make people think about something in a story. And even in a crowded bar, you can have grown men crying like babies because it hits them like that. That matters. It's not just fluff. It's not, I got to sing about the most popular thing going on right now. It's, let's sing about real shit, man. That's it. And I like to have fun too, still. Not as much fun as I used to have, but yeah, I'll sing some off the cuff kind of funny stuff sometimes. But the songs with the meat, man, those are the ones.
That's something that I would tend to believe, myself included, when you start out, get this wide open field of dreams. You're influenced by a lot of people to go a certain direction. Some of it's wild and reckless. Sometimes it's the straight and narrow, and it's like, how do you choose? And you can't really say I'm going to stick to one because there's just so many twists and turns in that road that you take. And well, the way I see it is, hey, enjoy the ride, and then you learn, and then that's where you are today. So it's it's paid off for sure. And man, that's a great story, my friend. I know there's another song here that you had shared with me. Maybe you can talk a little bit about this next one. Uh, what's it called? And anything you want to share about it, that just how did the story come together, and how did it get transferred into a song?
Yeah, this is gonna be a long one, but this song I met a gal. I was supposed to play a house show at this gentleman's house, and I actually went to it was right around Halloween, so I went to a Halloween party before, and I was gonna go over there and play this concert for those folks. And I go to this Halloween party and I meet this gal, and we kind of start talking a little bit, and she starts telling me a little bit of a story about her daughter and how she passed away. And she had her youngest daughter, Kendra, with her. And so mom's name is Gloria, and she's got Kendra with her. And we got to talk, and I said, "Well, I gotta take off. I gotta go play Mike's party." She said, "Well, we know Mike." I'm like, "Yeah, well, I'm trying to call him because he never actually gave me his address. So I didn't know exactly where his house was." So she's like, "Well, we'll just follow us. We'll take you out there." And so Gloria and Kendra, we follow them, and we get out to the house and we start this show. And I think I had told her about a song of mine which is called "Tattoo in a Song." And it turns out that Gloria is a tattoo artist, and that she also had her oldest daughter Katie's portrait tattooed on her. And so as I'm singing and navigating, my girlfriend at the time is talking and getting a little more of the story, and we just we meet these people randomly. And it turns out that Katie had passed away from bacterial meningitis, and it wasn't a super positive story because of the fact that, the doctors didn't catch it, and that's why she didn't make it. And but the tattoo in a song got her because of her tattoo of her daughter who had passed away, and so we kind of got into that. And the more we went through the night, Kendra, the youngest daughter, she was 7 at the time, very withdrawn. Had just lost her sister recently. Really wasn't very well. I started singing, and the next thing you know, Kendra is at the foot of my microphone stand, Indian style, and she'd never heard my music before. But I swear to God, I would look down while I'm singing some of these songs, and she was mouthing the words before she knew what they were. It was the most surreal, strangest thing ever. And so we're going through this, and we get done with the show, and we finally say goodbye. And I get home with my girlfriend, and I said, I got to write a song. I have to write this song. Because what happened was Katie passed away, but her heart and several of her other organs helped to save other people's lives. But her heart happened to go to a young boy in Corpus Christi, Texas. 2 weeks before I did this show, I was in Corpus Christi, Texas, doing a show. Okay. So I just go home and I said, I got to write this song. And I called Gloria because, we'd exchanged numbers and all those things. I called Gloria and I said, listen, I really feel like I just need to write a song and I want your blessing. And she said, we just need to make sure it's positive. I don't want the negative feel of what happened. I want to do the positive thing, and let's talk about that. And so I said, absolutely. I'll do everything I can to make this the right song. And so I woke up the next morning, I called in sick to work, and I wrote this song. And I called her up and I played it for her. And we both cried, and it was perfect. And I said, you know what? I can tell you right now that I was just holding the pencil and God and Katie were feeding me the words. And you can fast forward after we recorded this song, it actually got picked up in Northern Ireland. And Katie's favorite color was purple. And in Northern Ireland, they called me to tell me they were going to make this the song of the week on their station out there. And that morning, I opened my door in Fremont, Nebraska, and there was a purple balloon in my yard. And then I realized the 16-year-old boy that had gotten Katie's heart, name was Taylor. When I wrote that song, the brand of guitar that I wrote it and played it on was Taylor. A couple years later, Gloria and Kendra got to go to Texas and watch Taylor graduate from high school with Katie's heart. So, like I said, I can't tell this story in a real short version if you want to hear how powerful it is, because it's just it's a crazy thing, man. And Bill and Linda, the grandparents, that guitar is still displayed in their house because I gave it to the family. and Gloria put some artwork on it, tattoo type of stuff, artwork on the guitar, and it's displayed in Bill and Linda's house for Katie. And man, what a song!
You've taken us this far on the story. I think really the only way to cap this off would be for you to sing a few lines from it if you'd like to share that with us.
They say Katie's smile could light up any room. Lord, you took her way too soon. It's still shining through the dark. And Katie's eyes still dance with innocence. She's still leaving her blueprints on this world and in the stars. Katie's heart still somewhere beating strong, and her memory will live on in the lives of everyone who's seen Katie's heart. We'll let you hear the rest with the recording.
They say Katie's smile can light up any room. Lord, you took her way too soon, but it's still shining through the dark. And Katie's eyes still dance with innocence. She's still leaving her blueprints on this world and in the stars. Katie's heart still somewhere beating strong, and her memory will live on in the lives of everyone who's seen Katie's heart, all the joy that it could bring, on the strength of angel wings. You don't have to look too far to find Katie's heart. Down in Corpus Christi, Texas, there's a family filled with hope, a gift from someone they don't know to save the one they love. The Lord works in mysterious ways. For every precious soul He takes, He finds a way to give them back to us. And Katie's heart is still somewhere beating strong, and her memory will live on in the lives of everyone who's seen Katie's heart, and all the joy that it could bring, on the strength of angel wings. You don't have to look too far to find Katie's heart. I met a little girl just the other night. When I looked into her eyes, I swear I saw a glow. Though I haven't known her long, I knew by writing her this song would be the best way that I could let her know that Katie's heart is still somewhere beating strong, and her memory will live on in the lives of everyone who's seen Katie's heart, and all the joy that it could bring. I guess it's just a sister thing. You don't have to look too far. You don't have to look too far to find Katie's heart.
Which you shared with me. So listen, thank you, Nathan, for indulging us with your stories, your songs, the emotion that goes behind it, and uh, giving us the opportunity to just kind of cry with you as you make your way through these songs and stories. It's just been a wonderful time talking with you. Really, where can we find your music? If you've got recordings that are out there, if you got videos that are out there, I know you've got a Facebook page. Maybe you can share where our audience, our listeners, I should say, find you and your music.
Yeah, we were talking earlier, but yeah, Nathan Wade Country is the best place you're going to find stuff. That's my YouTube channel. That's my Facebook music page. Is Nathan Wade Country. Like you said, you looked and found that one dude who's kind of a like grunge guy from Seattle. Yeah, that's not me. I'm
I
a
thought I thought that
little
was
bit more of a redneck.
honestly, I thought that was. I know you had a break in music. I thought, oh, he's completely changed.
Yeah, I didn't do the Garth Brooks thing and go Chris Gaines
Oh,
or
okay.
Seattle grunge. I didn't do that.
Just
I'm still a
okay.
country boy
I'll
at
stay away
heart.
from that then.
I'm gonna stick with that. I'm gonna stick with that. But yeah, Nathan Wade Country is where you can find most of the stuff. That's my YouTube channel,
All right.
uh, and you can find stray videos and articles and all that stuff from over the past 25 plus years. I haven't recorded anything since 2015. I'm hoping to change that maybe this year and get a bunch of songs out there. But if you want to catch me live, if you're in the area, I'm all over Nebraska, South Dakota, Iowa, Kansas now. I'm getting out there again, and I'm loving it. And man, I'm just blessed. I want to thank you, Tom, for having me.
Oh yeah, sure, man.
I hope the weather's nice out there in California. We hit like 90 today again. So
I heard it's
yeah,
been a real roller coaster for you guys out there.
oh yeah, up and down, man. It's Nebraska. We can have all four seasons in one day.
That's what I've heard
That's
as
how
well
we roll.
too.
But yeah, also want to thank Hero Stock, Jason Steiner. See that?
He'll
I know
appreciate
my lighting's going out here, but
that.
I
I'll tell you what. I saw it earlier and I thought, hey, your hat's nicer than mine. I'm gonna have to go do an upgrade or something
this was a
like
good one. This was a good one.
that. Are you going to be performing locally anytime soon?
Yeah, absolutely. I'll be April 3rd. I'm actually doing another podcast out in Sigourney, Iowa. So I got to get up about 6 a.m. on Friday, drive out there. It's a little over 4 hours. I'm going to perform a live podcast at 11:30 a.m. in Sigourney. It's for the it's at Barnwired is what it's called. And then that evening, I'm going to move down to Manson, Iowa, and perform at Las Margaritas
Mhm.
out there in Manson. I got a bunch of buddies out there that I met years ago that kind of hooked me up with that gig. And then I'm going to get back home. And on the 4th, I'll be in Fremont, Nebraska at Buck's Axe Throwing, which they've never done live music. I said, well, just please don't set me up in the line of fire and let me sing. Don't have any axes coming on my head, you know.
It
But
used to be beer bottles and tomatoes they threw
right, oh
at
yeah.
you. Yeah.
But yeah, I'll be a lot of places. I'll be at the Disabled Warriors of Nebraska on April 11th. I'll open that with the national anthem like I do every year, and then I'll sing a few songs there. Um,
And it's worth mentioning too. I know in our pre-show conversation you were talking about just how you support the veteran community in the things that you do. Can you talk a little bit about that before we take off?
yeah, man, it's just that was years ago when we wrote that song. The first song was Dead Soldiers, and it was such a powerful song. I mean, obviously you can hear by the we actually had a guy out in Kentucky who was getting a record deal and he wanted the song and he wanted to record it. And the manager actually called us and said, is there any way we can change the title of this song? Because it's pretty heavy. I said, you're damn right it's heavy, and that's how it's supposed to be. So no, they weren't changing it. He did record it. His name was John Russell, Jon, John Russell out of Kentucky. And he actually got to perform it on Memorial Day out there in Lexington, Kentucky. And he said they had all four main branches of the military on each side of the stage, performed it, and they had a flyover. It was just chills, man. Absolute chills.
Wow.
So when we started performing as a band, it became our final song of the night, which is you'd never think a song called Dead Soldiers would be your, that's supposed to be the song that lifts everybody crazy. And it is, if you read it right, it is a powerful tribute song to the folks who fought and died for our country. And if you can't get up and say hell yeah and raise up a toast in honor of those, you know, I don't know if you got a heartbeat, man, or if you're an American. So that's the kind of power we had with that song back then, and it's been a fun ride to keep this going. But yeah, songs like that, man.
Nathan, let's bring this to a close. Thank you again for taking the time to share really stories from the heart and your music as well too. It's such a touching, set of, experiences that you've shared with us to be able to touch others through your music. And these are not small little things. These are, stories that are deeply meaningful. Um, so thank you for sharing the process of how you do that. It may not be like organized, like, from point A to point B. It's basically, this is what I'm feeling right now. This is how I'm going to write it.
Yeah, that's kind of
Um,
it, man. I
yeah,
tried to organize it, and I did kind of organize it for a lot of years, but it's if you feel it, just like I met that family, and so I got to write a song.
you gotta just
There's a
go with
song
it.
there,
You gotta
and
go with it for
you got to
sure.
tell the story.
Yeah.
And the fact that I was blessed enough to tell that story for that family and for other families and for military folks and even tell my story. The song about my grandson is that one, man. First couple of times I performed that, I didn't.
How do
Hard
you
to get
keep a
through it,
dry eye,
man. It's
dude?
hard.
Keeping a dry eye
Hard.
on all of the songs that you've shared with us tonight. I don't know how you do it. That's just amazing. It's amazing songwriting, as it should be. And here's my closing thought on, if you do cover songs, I get it. I understand that it brings out a certain emotion for individuals, may a feel good, kind of vibe. But those singer songwriter, the original songs that you write are so personal to yourself. It's a different set of emotions, and you're actually performing for a different group of people who want to hear, who like storytelling, who like to hear new stories, and that's what we as songwriters offer, is that freshness. Bring it to current times or reminisce a little bit about something we can all relate to. At least that's my take. So,
Yeah, no, you're right, man. You're right on. That's being a songwriter is it's a lot of emotion. It's a lot of telling people stuff that maybe you shouldn't even be telling them about your life, stuff like that. But just be real,
mhm.
do your thing, put it out there, see where it goes, man.
And authenticity has a lot to be said. It's like people are looking for authenticity in so many places. Why not do that with songwriting and storytelling, right? It's not a
Yeah, I'm
story.
so glad that's coming back around,
Yeah.
especially with the AI stuff and all this other
Oh my goodness.
stuff going
Yeah.
on.
Yeah.
I'm like I said, I've been pleasantly surprised for the past year how many people have gravitated and appreciated my music. I just so thankful for the venues, all the venues that keep continuing to rebook me, the new ones, every one of them that will give me a chance to get on a stage. All I need is a bar stool, a microphone, and my songs, and let the cards fall where they may, man. Somebody's going to laugh, somebody's going to cry, somebody's going to scream, hell yeah.
All right. Nathan Wade is joining us at the round table where heroes talk, where heroes talk. And we are a Hero Stock Nation podcast. To all of you who are listening, thanks for being a part of this conversation and supporting voices like Nathan's who remind us how powerful music is and how storytelling can be as well. Next week, we'll be sitting down with John Rickard of Combat Warriors Nebraska, an organization helping veterans reconnect and heal through outdoor experiences like hunting trips, fishing excursions, a lot of great stuff, time spent together in the outdoors, building that sense of camaraderie. You're not going to want to miss that. Until then, I'm Tom Lamont. Keep the music playing, keep the conversation going, and as always, keep honoring our heroes. Good night.